Yo, what up, YouTube? What up? Guess I want to talk about Clout. All right, gonna talk about Clout. What's Clout, man? Like, let's really think about it. Like, a man that seeks fame outside of God, a lot of time finds shame. Who seeks glory in a world of beasts finds man, because man is as a beast. Let's talk about all these celebrities, practices that they engage in and what have you that has manifested to the light, but they famous, right? And all these little niggas in the background, little brothers, forgive me, following their favorite rapper, following in their footsteps, following these idols, the jewelry, the clothes, the fashion, all of that. What's it about? Many people in this world trying to keep up with the Joneses to look the best, dress the best, have the most chatter, whatever. This man is like a gazelle in a wilderness, shivering with a flare gun in the night amongst a pack of wolves and teeth, flaunting everything they got, and then we wonder why they gone. Something to think about. You guys, there is more glory in being hidden and righteous than being right in glory in this world. You could be 100% right, but how you deliver that message, the sensitivities of people and how they take it, their insecurities, and what they might do. There's more glory in being hidden and righteous. Righteous means that you know how to use words without offending others, that you're able to present and communicate information without causing too much of a stir of controversy, conveying the greater message of which is unspoken, that it ain't for offense, that you're just bringing forth facts. But to the man who is right, which is good to be right and to be righteous, but it's more assured to be righteous than to necessarily be right. That's a communication thing. I want you to meditate on that. It's how you convey the information that you have. You could have a lot of truth, but if you can't communicate that, as in medicine, doctrine, give someone the right dosage so that they don't overdose, so that they don't shut you out, close you off. It's something to think about. There is more glory in being hidden and righteous than being right in glory. Because like I said, the glory of that man is like a gazelle with a flare gun in the night amongst a pack of wolves and teeth. In these days and times, there is more commitment with enemies than you may find with fake brothers. A hater is attentive to your errors and makes a humble man more righteous than a comrade who's only around for thrills and excitement. Look at all these famous people that only have yes men. Never tell them when they're out of line or when they're wrong or where their behavior is unacceptable. A hater is always going to check you. A hater is always going to point out your flaws and insecurities. And in these ways, even in their evil efforts, they make you better because at least their criticism is constructive. But a friend glosses over things. Not saying having a good friend is one thing, but having a fake friend, and many friends are fake. Many you check on don't check on you. Something to think about. Fun. I think of my youth, how we used to have fun. Where did it go as I aged? And I realized that fun is an experience that often includes risk, often measured in memory, than in the moments, yet can be had amongst the wise and responsible. You can have fun responsibly, but nobody thinks about having responsible fun. Something to think about. Enjoying the benefits of the occasion, of company, rather than being preoccupied with the fleeting thrills. The memory supersedes the occasion, therefore discern all plans before giving occasion to a consequence. Something to think about. The internet is a resource, and good company is fellowship. But be weary of ties in these days with people who occasion the internet for clout, who are more concerned with being right than righteous, who are at a lack of communication, that no offense be given, and prestige, and further for expounding knowledge in a world of pride and self-righteousness. Because many would like to see themselves as righteous, even the wicked. Something to think about. And if you have conflicting ideas, you don't know how that's going to measure out. For those who seek to battle that which is spiritual physically, stand not in their counsel. The effects of deception has tripped them, and there be no fruits in their efforts. These are just safety measures. Disregard a man's clout for his adequacy or his abilities for what's spiritual. Rather discern his way and if wisdom is involved. People commonly use others, and friends can often be a setback if they are not in the right spirit. Oftentimes your friends set you back. Something to think about. If a man has not Christ, then have few expectations for common ground and understanding and wisdom, for friendship, and especially for business. Something to think about. Measure all creatures. I don't care if it's a Draco, a serpent, reptilian, whatever you guys say, an insectoid, whoever. For those in the know, there are many different creatures here. There are elves here also. I work with, you know what, I ain't gonna get into that. Measure all creatures by principles, but namely all spirits by knowing their fruits of character. If a good person is a good person, they're a good person. If they have principles and morals and values, then that same is a good. I don't care if you see their pupils change. Be scarce around those who are constantly seeking money. Targeting is a spiritual phenomenon. The technology, though we have it, is not mastered. To all who seek against government, make scarce. You could disagree with the government, but make sure that person around you ain't too hyper. They may have other ideas in mind. Their mentality might not be stable. Any spirit could pop in there. Yes, there's fusion centers and what have you guys, but the fact of the matter, for man to articulate the precise thoughts that you had at any given moment to manipulate you into something that you would not, is far more intricate than man's ability. These are ancient spirits. Fight on principles. not by race, but injustice. If an action is unjust, it should be unjust towards anybody or any creature. Injustice or injustice is just injustice or injustice. You don't have to factor race into the equation. Make it plain that it applies to all people, for all people, anyone. Gossip, you guys, something that's bad in the true community is bad. I don't care if it's against a politician. You got to come with this. You got to be articulate and precise. Have no dealings with gossip. Make sure you're correct. And against things of fear, weigh your concerns, such as the vaccine. Weigh your concerns and be open-minded and win the weak instead of being a wall. If you're too right on the vaccine and how you convey the information, you will come off as arrogant. It is better to be righteous and humble and meek, being open-minded, weighing your concerns of the fears of taking something that they may share in those questions. Stay out of politics for the most part, you guys. It's pandemonium and we all know it. Most of it don't concern us. We don't make enough money. Let's just be honest. If you have a faith, state your faith. If you don't have faith, state the ordinance of your principles. How do you measure a man? Having many friends is often folly. A couple solids is more than enough. One thing I could say about low-key T, the reason I bring him up is, if you hit this brother up, he's going to call you back. You know. And that's one thing I could say. It says a lot about an individual's character. If a person is loyal and true, they will keep tabs and check on you. Something to think about. A lot of these cats out here, you guys, are carbon copies. Life is a simulation, and in life there's a script. What makes you peculiar? What is in your essence, your characteristic? What makes you different? That is what's being watched. How do they come up with movies? They take nuances of your character. These cats be carbon copies. Like when you do things a certain way with charisma, they copy and steal. They steal your swag, but throw shade. But when they speak it, be not original at all. There be no depth or any dimension that I find within them. They steal credit. And oftentimes I let them have it because I know they need it. It's their cloak or their clothing. It's all that they have. When they take it, that which is original, when they use it, it lacks swagger. It lacks essence. It lacks purpose. They stress you after they sweat you. They copy your moves and ways. But it is as a cake without flour. The swagger is missing. But in the presence of others, they ignore you. And you let them have it. Because the living portion or nuance of peculiarity is missing. That which was genuinely enjoyed becomes played out, and you can see it in the face of others. They speak on things to relate, having no substance. And in all things you do or say, they have also done these things. And maybe always one step better, one step more extreme. Something to think about. This is how they stand out. Your real perps. And it's not the people, it's the people being controlled by spirits. The government ain't spending money wasting tabs on all these loose groups of people all over the planet. You're dealing with the upper playground. You're dealing with spirits first. It's the spirit in the man that controls the machine. But the machines that we have are not yet mastered. You can have a UFO but not know how to fly it. Something to think about. This is what you have to consider and measure. What is clout really? What is targeting really? It ain't hard to tell for us now. Those of us that are living have a substance, an essence. It can be seen but not understood. You are the Illuminati. You are lit up. If you were not, then the Illuminati wouldn't be looking at you. The weak are afraid to come around you. Forgive them, they don't have the strength. But most people are carbon copies. Most people think in a two-dimensional construct. Most people are not self-aware, know themselves or what's around them. Something to think about. People that are snapping and losing their minds out here, it's not that they're snapping. Nobody wakes up and plans to shoot up a building. Noah Green didn't elaborate a great plan to enter the Capitol Hill building and crash into a police car and bring a knife to a gunfight. You gotta use this. There was a recent shooter in Austin, Texas. Not much information on it. They seem to be getting more intelligent with controlling the information. 41-year-old man, former deputy, shot and killed 3 people in the streets. Now ask me if that's normal. Did he plan that? Did he plan that morning? Or is there a machination of mind control in the earth? Is it a machination that people around us are sleep and with the right set of inertia in their mind, they could snap, be controlled, lose all sense of reality? Most people can't handle this targeting thing. Most people can't handle this program. What happens when somebody wakes up out of their sleepwalking? Be careful of what you're around. For me personally, I abhor clout. If I came into wealth, it would be used to get off the grid and to hide. I don't really want to be seen. I feel obligated to share the things that I keep quitting, deleting my videos. Because when you're constantly putting videos out there, they're coming out with ways to figure out how to get into your head. Sometimes you got to stop. Leave them with a cold trail. Look at who goes into a frenzy. Look at who's concerned. Look at who's acting different that you're commonly around. Something to think about. Got to be more tactical. Can't always come to you guys with straight information. Sometimes I got to come to you guys about a movie review. It's not because I'm talking about the movie. We have to speak in a new language. We have to do things differently now. We have to say what we mean and mean what we say without saying what we mean and meaning what we're saying, to wake those who are truly following you. Your enemies are going to keep tabs on you better than your friends will. And your friends keeping tabs on you are half asleep. Something to think about. We live in a world where people air out their dirty laundry. The internet is also a machination and tool or great resource for people saying a lot about themselves that they don't need to have out there. For us, it's several grades higher. Something to think about. I have 1,000 thoughts pass my mind within the span of 2 minutes. How are you going to pinpoint which one stuck? Just because a thought stuck may not be the one that I concentrate on. You see, for a lot of you guys, you may have consistent thoughts and what have you and have typical patterns. And I ain't judging you for that, but I've always had hyperactive disorder. ADD and ADHD, both. One is psychological, one is hyperactive. I'm too unpredictable and abstract here for that technology to be able to work on me and me not to see where it's coming from. That's how I recognize spirits. Not everyone you're around is human. Not everyone in the group theater is a perp. You could have one handler and people are so asleep with the introduction of a topic, the rest will follow suit. If they're stalking you, it's the one who's paying attention to you the most closest, not the one who is doing things that are annoying to you in close proximity to you. These people, most people are not aware of their surroundings. Look at all these people dying in mass shootings. Think about it. People are asleep. They don't have time to go home and study you all the time. That's what's making you paranoid. The devil just needs you to be off center. 90% of you will go back into the three-dimensional dynamics of dealing with government infusion centers and all this elaborate thing that is cracking into your brain that you're not able to handle on a 24-hour basis. But even if it was, why strike at the surface when you could strike at the root? Go for the head, not the tail. And until you get your game on that spiritual game, I'm going to say it every time. I'm right. I won't argue with you. I'm just explaining why. Going to editors, publishers, and what have you, all these people are asleep. And sheep act as a policing force because they don't know any better. They'll be concerned for you. Can't talk to my mother about this. She shuts down within 30 seconds. And I love her. You got to pray for those. You got to look out for those. With great power comes great responsibility. Well, you have one. None of us asked for it. None of us really want it, but this is what it is. Gird up your loins. Your loins is your brain in spiritual warfare. Thoughts and spirits resonate in the fourth dimension. That's on the same plane. They can't read your mind, but they could travel time and they could scan your memories. Something to think about. Peace and blessings be with you all. I'm out. What's Clout?